right, let's do another jazz piano bebop tutorial. We've done several of these on our channel so far, but this one we're going to be focused on the tune Killer Joe by Benny Golson. Now this is a good one to learn some bebop lines for because it really only has a few chords, not just in the A section and B section, but also in the bridge. So we're going to talk about some of the things that you can do over this tune and some standard bebop ideas that you can latch onto. So we're here at the head section where the tune goes like this. The chords are essentially C7, B flat 7, C7, B flat 7. And that goes back and forth between those two chords for the entire A section, B section, and even the D section. We'll get into the bridge in just a moment. So let's say we're trying to create some bebop lines for C7. Well, you might want to think about the leading tones, which are E and B flat. And the reason why those notes are important is because you want to approach those notes so that they land on the beat, whether that's beat 1 or beat 3 typically, or sometimes beat 2 and beat 4. And the way to get to those notes is what creates bebop. So that's what we call the over, under, or surrounding the note. For example, if we go over the note, then under the note, and then destination. Or we could go over, over, under, destination. You get the idea. So for example, if we're approaching an E, we might do this. That's over, under to the note. And then if we were to do that with the B flat, we could do it like this. Or this. You get the idea. Now let's go under, over to the destination note. And then you could do 2 overs and 1 under, for example. Or and then if we did that to the B flat, you get the idea. So that surrounding the note is the important sound for bebop that we're looking for. If you're just headed to the note, you can use passing notes, for example. So if we wanted that to land on the beat, we could do 4 passing notes. And then if we did that to the B flat, it would be 4 notes. Or, and you could also do this with the root and the fifth. For example, if you're approaching the root. Okay, let's try that for the B flat 7. So our leading tones would be D and A flat. So for example, let's say we're approaching D and we want that to start on the 3rd beat of the bar. In order to get there, we might do this, under, over, and then play the chord. Or if you were to do 4 notes before that D, it would be or down. So this is the whole idea behind bebop. It's essentially passing notes to get to those leading tones, or chord tones, if you will. For example, in B flat, you could do B flat, D, F, and A flat on the beat. And then however you get there, whether it's just passing notes getting to there, or whether it's under, over, under, or a combination of those. You might also want to put in 16th notes. For example, if we're doing passing notes to get to, say, G in a C7 chord, and we could maybe just play the chord here. So it's starting on this chord tone. How do we get there using 16th notes? So we could do 16th notes like this, G sharp. And then this note really should be F sharp. Like that. So you've heard that, but and if we did that for, say, the F of a B flat chord, it would be this. And it really doesn't matter which notes you pick. It just matters that you're surrounding those notes or surrounding those chord tones. And those chord tones are landing on the beat versus off the beat. So then if you start to put bebop lines together, C7 and then B flat 7 back and forth, you might get something like this. Okay, or something like this. It's a little difficult just going back and forth between C7 and B flat 7. And that's why Killer Joe is such a great tune to learn, because you're basically thinking in two different keys all at the same time. First in the key of F, and then in the key of E flat. So think, again, when you're playing C7, think F major, and then if you're thinking B flat 7, you're thinking E flat major. Okay, let's take a quick look at the bridge. The bridge has a 2 minor 7 flat 5 to 5 7, and if it were going to 1, it would be going to D minor. But essentially what it does is it does the same thing again, but down a half step. So then this is 2 minor 7, 5 7, in the key of D flat. So the tonal center for this one is D flat, and the total center for this one is like D minor. Interesting. So again, you want to think in E half diminished seventh. Those are our chord tones. If we were to approach, say, the G with other notes. And then when we switch to the A7, we have other chord tones to approach. So I hope that gives you a few ideas for playing bebop, especially over the tune Killer Joe. What I want to do is post a link to this sheet music that I created and arranged for piano, as well as the backing track, bass and drums. So the backing track contains the head in with an intro, and then you've got 2 choruses of soloing and then head out. So that's a great backing track to download because you can practice the tune and also practice your soloing over these changes. And you have the sheet music as a guide when you're improvising. So let me play a couple of choruses of solo for you now over Killer Joe with the backing track to give you an idea of how it should sound. right, there's a couple of choruses of Killer Joe for you. I'm gonna put a link to that backing track that I played along with up here in the corner. It also contains the sheet music that I was playing from, and it has the chord symbols so that you can improvise as well. All right, if you like this video, all you have to do is give it a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, just hit the little bell when you do, because you'll be notified of all the upcoming videos. And if you're looking for other practical tips for jazz and you're looking for maybe sheet music and other backing tracks, there's a lot going on over at jazzmentl.com. Please check that out as well. Thanks for your time. I'll see you in the next video.